Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today we're going to be going over the locked and loaded event in which the Dwarven Hunter is added to Gems of War. Also, I am finally back from seeing family after many extended cancellations of the flights, which I'll explain all about later during the stream. But we will be back on normal schedule now, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single night for our daily stream, as well as starting at 10 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays Eastern Standard Time for those morning streams. But anyways, let's get into all of the things. So mainly just Dwarven Hunter, but we still have all the other stuff too. So brown, green trade stones. You would use this for a Soothsayer earlier on in the game, or most likely a Sylvanie Moore later on. Soothsayer is good for board control and some extra magic, and Sylvanie Moore fully traded is mainly used as a entangle option. So this Dwarven Hunter, he has one very, very specific purpose, and that is to counter out beasts. He dispels an enemy, which will get rid of any of its positive stats effects. Against beasts, this is mainly going to be barrier. Actually, against almost anything, this is most likely going to be barrier. It dispels an enemy and then deals damage to them, a relatively small amount, though it does gain a little bit of additional damage based on beast. Every beast they have will be 4 additional damage onto his ability. His ability itself, pretty bad, but his traits is what makes him somewhat viable. He has Beast Slayers, so he has a 50, or he does 2 times as much damage to beasts. He has Armor Piercing, so he has a 50% chance to ignore their armor. So basically, there's a 50% chance he's pretty much just going to one-shot a beast, because the 2 times damage with the armor piercing is most likely going to be enough damage. And on top of that, it's one of the few that has this combo that actually is immune to stun, as well as a few other immunities. Just like all the dwarves, they have the Fortitude ability, which gives them several pretty useful immunities. The main ones being immune to stun and devour are pretty useful, those two. But anyways, that's him. Nothing too spectacular out of him, but you do get 5 glory every single battle you do with him in PvP this week, which is definitely very, very good. With that being said, let's go over all the things. We get 10% for all dwarves. We get 10% for all mechs, a really weird combo. If I'm not mistaken, the only dwarf mech in the game is the Deep Boar, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I guess it's a good week to use Deep Boar. And as I mentioned, you get 5 glory for whenever you use the Dwarven Hunter in PvP. Definitely highly, highly, highly advised, even if you just ram it against 1 trophies. That is a lot of extra glory, and anytime you ever see use 1 troop and get 5 extra glory, it is a good week to go and farm that like crazy, as this is the best possible time you can ever go to farm glory, so might as well do it while you can. And we also end up getting event gems from killing dwarves. Unfortunately, you can only do it within Explore. So the location you do this is basically only Kzo. There might be like a few other ones where you can kind of shake a few here and there, but this would be the main one you'd want to go to, as it would generally have quite a few dwarves. Of course, I would go here and there would be absolutely none, but normally there would be dwarves here. I think there's about like, what, 6, 7 dwarves in this kingdom? So really weird that there wouldn't be one, but of course we would get unlucky. But pretty much just any standard Explore team, wipe them out, boom, and go on from there. And ideally you would actually get a dwarf. Let's see, there we go, 3 of them. So that makes up for the fact that we got 0 on the previous battle. But yeah, you should generally be getting 2 or 3 on every battle. I guess you can occasionally get unlucky like that, but for the most part, just spamming these out would be the easiest way to get your event gems, or really the only way, I should say. This does require, of course, having the completion of the Kzo Kingdom. Luckily, you end up getting a pretty nice weapon from that too, the War and Peace weapon. It's one of the best, or not the best, but one of the earliest good AoE weapons that can hit all enemies early on in the game. So definitely a really good idea to go complete out that kingdom, and you needed that this week anyways to go and get the event stuff done. Oops, that is mail. I thought that was the event. Anyways, let's go over more event stuff. Let's go over to the to the Soul Forge and see what we have this week. So as far as all the summoning stones, I already checked. They are all useless, so don't even bother this week. As far as mythics and legends, though, they do seem to have a couple of decent ones. As far as mythics, there is one mythic worth crafting, and that is the World Breaker. It has a static 18 explosions, so even if you have a very low magic or low stats in general, it will still have 18 explosions, so really nice. That's basically just slightly less than a maxed out Gorgolfa, which is very, very, very high. On top of that, it also gets a pretty decent amount of damage, though that is based on his magic, though that also means you can boost it even higher with additional magic buffs, and if you happen to ever be able to get him fully traded, he also ends up gaining 4 to a random skill on 4 times or 5 times matches, which can be pretty useful to get his damage up. The only big downside to him is he has the highest mana cost in the game, though with everything he does, it is pretty good as an overall mana generator / damage source. Really nice within the context of all dragon teams, also really good with a Fairish Ra if you've already crafted one of those, as using this with a Fairish Ra does indeed cover every single color. So you can just throw that in with maybe like a Mountain Crusher off a Dragon Hero class, something else, and you're pretty much good to go. The other mythic that might be somewhat worth crafting is Guard's Avatar. I would say that Worldbreaker is better than Guard's Avatar, but Guard's Avatar has a higher initial damage and a higher max damage. The biggest issue with it, though, is it can easily lose that damage by losing its armor. It's particularly noteworthy for countering out daemons, though at this current moment in time, daemons aren't really too big of a threat, but it does have the ability to silence all daemons with its ability, which is quite potent. That's basically a silent one on top of a gigantic full AoE damage. As far as other things, particularly under the legends, I would say kind of Garuda or something, but that you probably wouldn't need to go out of your way for. The only thing I would really say you might want to go out of your way for legends this week would most likely be the Crimson Bat. Crimson Bat is basically the mid-range of true damage in Gems of War. Very, very nice option for how much true damage it can do for its mana cost. It's right in between basically everything. Its biggest downside is it doesn't have any board control, but it does a pretty competent amount of true damage, gains a little bit of life, and one really noteworthy feature is it is the only troop in the game capable of doing 2 times skull damage to everything. There isn't a single thing that is not able to do 2 times skull damage to. The reason for this is it has a 2 times skull damage based on anything that is wounded, and every single troop can be wounded. That just means that they are missing HP, so that means it potentially can it can potentially do 2 times skull damage to anything, and that stacks with Divine for 4 times, and if you can somehow get a wounded Divine plus a Hunter's Mark on them, it actually stacks multiplicitly into a 8 times skull damage, which would be 240 if you could actually do that, though realistically you would never really do it beyond like a 4 times skull damage, because that would take way too much setup. But yeah, Crimson Bat, pretty nice to have around, and might be something to consider, particularly for early on in the game due to its pretty competent amount of true damage. Anyways, event keys, are they worth using this week? There are some pretty nice things coming up, though I would say that it is probably worth throwing a little bit if you don't have Gorgoltha or King Highforge. King Highforge is well, we're going to be using both of them soon, but King Highforge is a pretty decent damage source, kind of on the similar to Dragon Soul, except it doesn't have a lot of the additional benefits. It's mainly used in late game for, not arena, for Guild Wars, because it has the summon plus a pretty high boost ratio off its damage, and it has stun, so it's good for countering out things like Queen Mab and such. But yeah, definitely really nice to have, and of course you can also get Gorgoltha. Gorgoltha is one of the best mana generators in the game, one of the tankiest troops in the game, second tankiest, only behind that of the Stonehammer. Not only that, but you can potentially get a Stonehammer within the event keys as well. He is the mythic currently within the drop pool here, though he is basically useless, Stonehammer himself, so you'd mainly only go until you get 1 copy of Gorgoltha and King Highforge if you don't already have them. Otherwise, don't even bother with event keys this week. Anyways, was there anything else we missed? I believe that is everything. So let's get into a bunch of teams then. What should we start off with? Let's actually go right into our own defense. I wanted to go and battle ourselves with basically a predetermined team. The reason for this is there'd be almost no way to actually get up against a beast team if I wasn't to do this. So we're going to be doing this against a pre-made all beast team that I did, a pretty generic one. It kind of fell off the meta, but still, if someone's going to be running all beasts, they're probably running something somewhat similar to that. It's the cheaper variant of a all beast team. But basically what we're going to be doing here, giving that instant buff, trying to get that extra turn, and we do indeed land it there. And ideally what we want to do here is take every single skull that we possibly can and hope they all hit true damage. I was actually messing around with this earlier, and I managed to get every single one to hit true damage, though I can almost guarantee we will not be getting that lucky now. But let's go claim our extra turn, just throw a little poke at that, and there we go, 1 down. Can we get another one? Never mind, that one would have died regardless of if we had true damage or not. Let's see, can we get another one? I don't think we could drop it for another So we're probably just going to give him another buff just to make sure he can kill them. Never mind, he already has 2 times skull damage. He would have had way more than enough. He's already at 142? Yeah, 142 damage. Actually, we don't even need to do we don't even need the 50% anymore. We already have enough damage just to kill him out. So let's see if we can do that. I don't believe we have a convert here. Yes, we do. What am I saying? So we can go for that. Oh, come on, cast. We throw that down. Get our nice poke. And poke into another poke. Can we get it? Come on, give us poke. And no, we're just going to have to try dropping for it. And nope, not quite. But anything at this point will knock it out. And no, we lost him! You were supposed to win us this. Oh well. I wanted to use the spell to go get rid of its shield. Apparently, it's going to get a shield now, and now we're not going to be able to kill it. Hopefully, Sakima will be able to take care of that. No? Yes. Never mind, we got it. Okay, so that'll get rid of the barrier, and then the skull takes it out. The many, many skulls, and there we go. Well, not exactly what I wanted to have happen, but you get the point. It's okay against beasts, though the amount of times you would ever have to face an all-beast teams these days is very, 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 very excessively rare. So doing something like that wouldn't really be that needed most of the time. Very, very uncommon that you would need to bother with something like that. Anyways, let's go on to the next one down, which is a 1 trophy variant. Of course, it is a +5 glory week, which means farming 1 trophies like crazy. Of course, you can use any number of very quick teams. This is just one of them that you could possibly use, but of course there are many, many, many options. Essentially anything with a firebomb or an elspeth or anything along those lines that can win super quickly against 1 trophies is what you want to be running with. We're just running with a firebird here. We even have the Zephyrus if we need to go get that a little bit of additional damage. We also have all the colors being covered there, just so we can utilize everything and just keep doing that, and you get all the glory you ever need. And if it's too strong of a battle, just click refresh, and if not, like this, we can easily just go straight back into it and get ourselves another additional 5 glory on top of whatever glory it's already giving, which is the +3 there. And yeah, definitely a really, really nice week to go farm up on glory. Anyways, on to the next one, 4 times Kzo. This has gotten slightly better now that we have a Dwarven Hunter. I guess you could have also done it with a it was pretty decent with a Lady Ironbeard as well with this combination. But yeah, we'll throw it in with this. Should work out pretty decently. All we have to just do is try getting our Apothecary up, and then we have all the loops we really need. And then we can just keep damaging from there. Also, this uses both of the 2 troops that are currently within the event key drop pool. The Gorgolfa and the King Highforge. Gorgolfa, of course, for extremely high mana generation, as well as the Skull mitigation, as well as this Highforge for as well Skull mitigation. Oh wait, never mind, he doesn't have Stone Skin. Why did I think he had Stone Skin? Never mind. He's mainly used for his 50% start to all dwarves. As you can see, we started with half mana on all the dwarves. He also, as I mentioned, has a pretty decent boost ratio. He would end up getting an additional 24 damage if you're using an entire dwarf team, and since he attacks twice, that is additional 48 damage that you can do if you have a full dwarf team. So very, very, very potent with that damage there. So right here, I'm actually not going to take the skull or bother with it. We have a fully traded Gorgolfa, so he can take all the skulls he ever needs. There really isn't much of an issue with that. So just go get ourselves a Highforge, keep hitting really big numbers on him. We do have a triple dwarf on our team, so we are gaining a lot of additional damage from that. The 3 times on the 6 boost ratio for 36 additional damage total. So quite a bit of extra damage there. Let's see, we'll move that. And at this point, it almost looks like we're just going to go straight into all the Highforges. He doesn't have any beast, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to utilize the fact that we have a specific beast counter. Though if there was anything that was to ever run Barrier or something similar, or if he was running a Christine X, at least in those cases, we could do the single Dispel to try to get rid of it. Single Dispel, for the most part, seems almost useless. There's one other trip that has it too. I believe the Ancient Golem, or whatever it's called. They never really get used that much. It's a interesting concept to be able to automatically get rid of all those fast effects, particularly Barrier and such. But nothing that currently does it to a single target is really viable at the moment. Really wish they would do something like that. Of course, there's plenty of them that are viable that does it to the entire enemy team, but still none that do it to only a single target. Well, throw that down, get herself another Apothecary. This is almost just like a completely Highforge battle. This thing's almost being used just to boost ratio for the Highforge. That is its entire purpose. Unfortunately, Highforge does not double tap when there's only one remaining. I'm going to rethrow this, and I guess we'll kill it out, let him do something, give him the final blow right there, and there we go. And of course, every single one of these battles, it doesn't matter what kind of PvP battle we do, as long as we're using him, we are gaining that 5 additional glory. And of course, as far as realistic teams, you'd mainly just be using him if you do want to farm glory and still do normal battles. You'd want to be doing basically any triple threat team that covers every single color with just a Dwarven Hunter thrown in. You can use something like this. You can use the Gorgolfa Pristine X Dragon Soul combo. There are plenty out there, triple combos that will work, that basically are self-sufficient, that do not require a 4th troop. And anything that can do that is pretty much what you want to be using this week if you are seeking out the additional glory and wanting to do the normal battles. So right here, we're just going to go for there. Of course, it's not an extra turn, but I desperately need the mana to get herself going. And that appears to be all the mana we'll be needing to get herself going. Perfect. And now we did enough damage that it shouldn't get any triples as well, so that'll be nice. It doesn't look like we can get a Mercy, though at this point it's not really going to matter. We just throw down the Gorgolfa, throw down an Infernus, and we've pretty much got the loop going. And should just be a win from here. Throw the Gorgolfa, since we don't have a Mercy alignment, otherwise we would Mercy, like right now. Oh, he got some barriers in there. Oh, now, I wish he had an extra turn. That'd be nice to just get rid of one of these. I guess I technically could go and kill that. I don't know if that's really worth it, because what if he high forges? That would almost benefit him more than it would hurt him. So we're just going to throw that down again and hope we get an extra turn. And no, we did not, but let's see what he does. He now has an opening too, which is, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, because now he gets a fresh summon. Yep, and there it goes, a fresh summon. And it's like the most perfect thing he could have possibly summoned, a Apothecary, which of course creates Browns like we were doing the previous battle. Okay, hopefully we can get a Mercy here. No, we cannot. Good job. No Mercy for us. Okay, there we go, finally. So we get the Mercy, get another Infernus. I need that High Forge to go down. He can get quite a bit of damage down, particularly once you start getting towards a all-dwarf team. And there he goes again, getting the gate back up that we killed twice now, I think? Wow, so many gates. But we'll go throw down the Infernus, and pretty much done. As soon as we kill the High Forge, there isn't any threat really left on the team. Not like we're going to die to a 14 attack Dwarven Gate against Gorgolfa. That would take a lot of effort to try to die that way. And yeah, we're pretty much good to go. If I really had to, I can just poke him. I don't believe I will, though. Hopefully we get lucky enough just to throw this once. There was a chance that he could have gotten an extra turn there, though. But there we go, and that's basically how we'd farm a good majority of our +5 glories if we just wanted to do it on normal battles or any similar triple team that is capable of doing so. But anyways, guys, that will wrap it up for this video. If you still have any other questions about the event or anything else Gems of War related or anything in general, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. We'll be around at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, finally again, starting back up the schedule with all of our streams and everything. So we'll be messing around with the new troop with that, probably mess around with Gorgolfa and High Forge a little bit more as they are related to the event week and all our normal stuff. And anyways, guys, I'll see you all later. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful week.